Have you ever gone to the hardware store looking for PVC pipe only to find that there's two different kinds and you're not exactly sure which one to get? There's this cream colored one and then the solid white one. Well, the difference is this cream colored one is CPVC. That's actually for hot water lines. So you can see it. It's written on the pipe right here, CPVC, and it's rated at 100 PSI. So you can use it for water lines, but it can be used for hot water lines or cold water lines. But the regular PVC, the white stuff, it's called Schedule 40 PVC, and it's not rated for hot water, but it is rated for higher pressures. You can see there 480 PSI, and that's at 73 degrees. So that's the difference in the two types of PVC. And when you buy glue, you need to make sure that you get the right type of glue also. You can see that this one is rated for PVC and CPVC and then ABS plastic. So they make glue that's just for PVC or specifically for CPVC, but if you're going to be working with both types of pipe, then it's easier just to get the all-purpose cement. Now they also have different types of primer. This one says for CPVC and PVC, and it's purple. The whole reason for it being purple is so you know what you've gone through and primed, because they make some that's clear or some that's orange. Usually the orange is specifically for CPVC, but again, this is an all-purpose primer for both types of pipe, the CPVC and the PVC. So if you want to cut PVC pipe, the water lines anyway, the easiest way to do it is just to pick up this pipe cutter. So you measure down where you want to cut, and it ratchets down with that blade and cuts right through the pipe. The pipe is plastic, so it's going to cut pretty easy. When it's cold, very, very cold outside, if you're doing this below freezing temperatures, you could actually break the plastic. But when it's, I don't know, I'd say above 50 degrees or so, 40 degrees maybe, it's not going to hurt. It's not going to break the plastic. The plastic's not going to be real brittle. So you can see it kind of flex a little bit when I squeeze it. Then it just starts cutting in. So you can just measure it wherever you want, and it'll cut right through it, no problem. You can use a hacksaw or a power saw, but when you do that, it puts a lot of real nasty burrs all over the plastic that you'll have to clean off, or else you won't get a good seal on your glue. So if you want to glue the PVC or the CPVC, you need to prime it first. Now this is going to it's going to drip all over whatever's below it, so just be careful with that. The primer actually takes that shiny coating off of the pipe. It's kind of a glossy coating on there, and it'll also take the paint off and any dirt and debris. See how it's taking that paint off? You don't have to come that far up. You just need to come up as high as your glue joint, which is right there on the end. But be careful not to knock that over and spill it on your floor, because it will stain permanently. So we're going to start with the different types of joints. I got an elbow and a coupler for both PVC and CPVC. So if I'm going to glue up this CPVC joint and make an elbow out of that, I'll prime all the ends. And you've got to get the primer down inside the elbow also. So basically all the surfaces that come in contact with each other. And just put a dab of glue in there. Again, it's going to drip, so be careful what you're doing it over. You want to work fairly fast with this glue because it's going to set up very, very quick. Shove it in and give it a quarter twist and hold that for a second. You can shove this one in, give it a quarter twist and hold that. I hold it for 5 to 10 seconds. That way I know it's good and set up. So it's not going to work out on its own. And if you want to glue a coupler on, say you're replacing a piece of pipe that busted or that's old or something that wore out, I don't know if you got a hole in it and you want to put a new piece of pipe in there, you can grab a couple of couplers, cut out the bad section, and say we want to glue this together to repair it. I'll just prime all the ends. And when you're gluing, it actually works best if you just work with one end at a time. So I'm going to do half of the coupler and then the one side of pipe I want to go in that coupler. Shove it in as far as it'll go and give it a twist. Hold it for 5 or 10 seconds. And then I'll work with this end here. Give it a twist. You always want to give it a quarter twist or so. Just that helps make sure all of the glue is making contact on all of the surfaces on the inside. So that's how you glue up the CPVC. And with PVC it works the same way. These cutters are good for up to, both of these are about 3/4 of an inch. That's the nominal dimensions of them. This is 3/4 inch CPVC and this one's 3/4 inch PVC. So these cutters are good for up to that 3/4 of an inch. You can see that I got a little bit of a gap in there. You might be able to get a 1-inch pipe in there, but it'll be pretty tight. So just cut wherever you need to make your cut. If I want to glue the elbow on, do it the same way as the CPVC. Just clean it off before you get all the paint and the glossy surface off of there. See how it eats away the wording, the lettering, the paint and stuff off of the, wherever you prime it. Just wrap some glue all the way around the inside of the elbow and around the outside of the pipe where you're going to connect them. Shove it in all the way and give it a twist and just hold that. And glue up the other joint while you're holding that. Shove it in all the way and give it a twist. And hold it for 5 or 10 seconds. And that's how you glue PVC pipe. Now if you want to glue or repair some larger PVC, So this is 1.5" PVC. So this is a factory edge here, and this side here I cut with a saw. So I gotta clean all those burrs off. The easiest way to do that is just kind of go around and scrape it with a knife. Now it's fairly clean, got all those burrs off. And it glues up the same way as the smaller pipe. Just make sure you clean the inside of the joint and the outside of the pipe itself. Put some glue on the inside of the elbow. Make sure you wrap it all the way around to cover all the surfaces on the inside. And just shove it in as far as it'll go and give it a twist. And you can feel it starting to set up instantly. Because right now I can't even twist it anymore. That's how fast it sets up. But after you're done gluing the joint, you can see that there's still the purple residue around the joint. And that just lets you know as you go back later and check all your joints, you make sure you glued them all. So you didn't have any joints that weren't glued, especially with water lines. Because as soon as you add water to it, it's going to spray all over, it'll bust loose, spray everywhere if you didn't actually glue it. So couplers are the same way. This is a coupler, it's a 90-degree elbow. So I'm just going to clean the inside of this coupler. And the outside of this pipe, see that's taking the paint off from the letters. Shove it on there as far as it'll go and give it a twist and just hold it. And then if you're going to use a coupler, obviously you're going to stick another piece of pipe on the other end. So just prime that. That side I already primed, so it's fine. Once you've got the glue on there, you have to work fast. See how it's wanting to come out on its own? So that's why you've got to hold it in there nice and tight for 5 or 10 seconds. With the larger pipe, you may have to hold it a little bit longer. But shove it in and give it a twist until that glue starts to set up. Just hold it. There. Now, I wouldn't put this under pressure right now. I'd let it set up for an hour or so if I had to put any pressure on this pipe. But you could very easily move on to the next part of the project, whatever you're working on. That's going to stay. It's not going to go anywhere. So that's the difference between CPVC and PVC. Remember, the CPVC is yellow and it's made for hot water only. Well, I say hot water only. The CPVC can be used with hot water and cold water, but the white PVC can only be used for the cold water. And then your drain pipes, they can be used for cold water or actually wastewater or whatever type of project you've got going on with it.